Hey, what's up everyone? It's Zach here with Sound Engagement, and I'm here today to talk about the Electro-Voice ETX-15SP. It's a powered subwoofer. It's got 1800 watt amplifier in there, and it goes up to about 135 dB, which is pretty loud for most applications. But these are our speaker of choice. As you can tell behind me, I have a lot of different Electro-Voice speakers. I got another ETX-12P right here, another ETX-15SP. There's another 12 behind me, and there's some, there goes my drill. And there's some Evolves, and there's a Everse 12, which we need to talk about still because I can't say enough good things about the Everse 12. We use the Everse series all the time, but we're gonna talk about the ETX series today, and of course we got some ELX 200s. But I've had these for, oh man, I bought these used 6 years ago. And so it's about 9 years old. And eventually, I think our office was a little dry and the woofer cone was separating from the basket and it didn't sound very well. So I looked at it and I fixed that, and eventually the adhesive around the voice coil to the magnet on the woofer itself came loose as well, and I couldn't see that until we cut the cone out again and then lifted it out, and it basically came out in one piece. So I was like, what do I do? Do I buy a new woofer, which is between like $400 to $500, or more, depending on where you get it, or do I recone it? And all my friends in the industry throughout the United States said you should recone the speaker. It should be like $200 to $300, $250 probably. And I said, you know what? I don't want to recone anything. I've glued enough speakers together before, and I just bought a new woofer. I have it behind me, and luckily we only live about 15 miles from the Electro-Voice warehouse where all the speakers and the microphones get shipped out of down here in South Carolina. So I went and picked it up at the warehouse, and I have it right behind me. But before, when I was taking apart everything, I wanted to make sure if you have a blown woofer, a blown speaker, and it's past its warranty, you can either ship everything down here to South Carolina, and there's addresses all on the Electro-Voice website, or on where to ship it, and there's fantastic people there who can fix everything. But for me, after the 5-year warranty was done on my ETX, I just felt like it was best if I just did it myself. So if you are in the same position as I am, and you want to do this yourself, by all means reach out. I'll give you whatever you have, whatever cabinet you have, and I can get you a recommendation of what part it is and direct you to buying a woofer. I got my woofer at our friends at NLFX Professional out of Bemidji, Minnesota, where we used to live, and fortunately used to work at for a short time. So I got my stuff from Ben, Kat, and all the people at NLFX Professional. If you have not heard of them, reach out and let them know what you need, and they'll take care of you. NLFX Professional is one of our great friends. But if you're gonna do this yourself and you talk to NLFX and you get the part, what do? On the grill here, there's 3 screws on each side. The older models have a Phillips hex head on them, so pretty easy. The newer models on the ETX, I got a couple. I think this cabinet right here next to me has hex heads or Allen wrench heads for the screw heads. So depending on how old the fixture is, or how old the model is on this cabinet, some have Phillips and some have Allen wrench heads, hex heads. So I already took this out. I took the screws out, and you lift up the grill like this, and in the back of the grill right here, if you can see, there's a chipboard, and that has an LED in it, and there's a wire. So you got to take that cord out carefully. It's pretty easy though. It is on this side. I already took it out, but we can always put it back together and take it out again. And make sure you plug it in the right direction. Now, is it important for audio professionals like you to learn how to recone things? No, not necessarily. You can always find a repair shop, or maybe you are inquisitive enough to and confident enough to do it yourself, that's fine too. But there's nothing wrong with buying a woofer. It saves time and money, and it's built correctly, so you don't have to worry about things, right? So the cable is connected to this board. All I did was wiggle it back and take it off, and we can set our grill off to the side. And then next would be the support bars. And these support bars just help with, if you put anything on your grill, it's not gonna dent the grill in. And we'll put those off. So they're made of metal, and there's some foam on there. And then around the woofer enclosure, which you can see, I'm gonna pick up my camera. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 screws around the woofer enclosure, and there's a couple wires that go into the amp module, and that's about it. There's the cable for the LED, and then of course that's the subwoofer pole mount with the M20 screw on the bottom here. So that is what inside an ETX-15SP looks like. It probably looks similar for an 18-inch woofer, same as maybe a 12 or a 15 or a 35P. It's all about sound pressure, right? And trying to get enough pressure to make that woofer go up and down. But we'll take these screws out. I took this out, I don't know, probably 2 weeks ago or so, and they said the woofer was on back order, trying to get across from the manufacturing plant. And all of a sudden I got an email from Linnea at NLFX, and she's like, you can go pick up your woofer. And I'm glad I went and got it, because they're about to ship it out UPS, but I would get it tomorrow, but I'm glad that we went and picked it up today, because like I said, Greer's only 12, 15 miles away. So the first thing is I had to figure out which model I needed, and I just put Electro-Voice ETX-15SP Subwoofer replacement, and it came up and gave me a part number, and that's what I told our fantastic people. You get, wherever you get your speakers or your Electro-Voice speakers, they'll help you out and get you set up. But it is right here behind me. It is a SPA woofer 15-inch DVX3159. A is the model number, and yeah, let's put it in. It's got a huge magnet on there. There's some. There it is. It's all its glory. And there's a little bit of stuff right there, but that's fine. Brand new, easy to do. So on the back here, if you've never done any car audio or anything like that, there's 2 terminals. You press them in. You put the wires in, black goes to black, the red goes to red. So we'll take our lead wires here. There's a black line on the negative one. We will put that in the negative terminal. The red wire has just red. We'll put that in the red terminal. And that's it. And then we will match the holes up around the enclosure. Screw them in. Now if you do decide to recone it, there's a recone kit that you can get, and it does take a little bit. As you can tell on the woofer here, there's a lot of glue, especially right there. So the voice coil is down here under the dome. You can tell it moves really freely. If you think your subwoofer might be blown, take the grill off, disassemble the LED cable, and then press down on it and see if there's any scratching. You can kind of hear it, maybe not. But the best thing to do would be to get a multimeter, which I don't have here at my home here in South Carolina. It is in our office up in North Dakota, as we're still transitioning down here. But I hooked it up. I'm going to put a picture in right here. And when you look at it, it says OF0, whatever F stands for. I'll have to let you know maybe in the comments. But basically, it would have told me if it had 4 or 8 ohms, because that's what our woofer is at. I believe is at 8 ohms, maybe 4 ohms. But it's definitely not 2 or 1. It would give you an ohm reading. It didn't give me an ohm reading, so I knew that it was dead. And after we cut it open, like I said, the whole adhesive around the voice coil was basically shot to hold it in place. And so it was basically loose, going up. It wasn't even going up and down anymore. It was just kind of sitting there. So, but going back to the reconing process, I have done it on some older models. Back when they used to have bolts on the going through the magnet and then bolting the basket to it. And after talking to my buddy Michael out of Wisconsin, you have to glue and then glue and then glue. So there's like 3 steps of gluing, and you have to wait for it to adhere, you know. And then somebody said, on the safe note, you probably should wait 3-5 days for it to adhere, and then make sure that you test it afterwards. And I just didn't want to do that. This is the second time I've had to replace this subwoofer on one of these cabinets. And I have to blame it for cold weather and dry offices. If your office is dry, make sure you check your speakers, because after a while that adhesive just like stops adhering. And regular maintenance on your speakers is always a good thing anyways. Clean them and make sure they're good to go, because you don't want to go to an event and all of a sudden like, oh, that sounds weird. We try to do at least quarterly maintenance on all of our large equipment. And that is ready to go. All we gotta do is put our support bars back in the slots. Take our grill. We're gonna hook that cable up one more time. Like such. Lay it down. Grab wherever I put the screws at. Oh, they're over here. And like I said, 3 screws on each side. Match up the holes. Now I have my drill on the lowest setting, just in case I don't want to strip anything out. Especially, you know, on these wooden closures, you have a little bit more grip because you're screwing a screw into the birch cabinet. But on the, I think they're all, actually all of EV subwoofers are in birch cabinets. I don't think there's a plastic molded injected one, so I think just the highs. The new Avivas that are coming out, the ZLX G2s are still like my minimum I would ever buy. I have 8s, not here but in another room. The ZLX, I just said, the G2s, which are fantastic by the way, and the ELX 200s, and then after that EKX and the ETX are both wood. But you don't want to over tighten it. And so that's it. We've installed the new woofer. We can plug it in and make sure it works, and we're ready to go for events. But if you have any questions about a blown woofer you might have, or a blown compression driver, reach out. I can always give you some good recommendations on where to go depending on where you're at in the region or in the States. If you're in Canada, there's only a couple places, and then around the world, it depends. right? That's it. Pretty simple. It took us it would have took me about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to go and do this process after I knew I had a good woofer in there. And, but let's get hooked up and we'll check it out. But remember, anytime you need a question or you have a question, reach out. I'd love to connect with you and talk about anything Electro-Voice. I'm Zach with Sound Engagement. You know what you do. Make sure you like this video. Smash that bell for future videos and future notifications of when we put more videos up and more tips and tricks on what to do if your gear is down or how to make it work better for you. What's your workflow? We'll see you next time. Later.